Hey there, StarCraft fans. It's Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void. Today we've got a game between Kelazhur and Serral here on Lost and Found, the latter edition. In the bottom left-hand corner, it's the red Zerg player Serral, hailing from Finland. And in the top right-hand corner, it is the Brazilian Terran player Kelazhur. All right, so a ZVT from the round of 16 from WCS Austin 2018. Looked like a pretty good game based on the replay title and length, so I figured, hey, let's go ahead and give it a cast. It's been a while since a ZVT. I know it's my most common matchup, but it still has been a while. A lot of PvZ, a lot of PvT, especially yesterday. Mana versus Special in a best of 5. If you missed it, I highly recommend you go back and check it out because it was very, very close. A very, very close best of 5 series. All right, so Lost and Found, the most standard map in this map pool, according to Sure Shaddai and me, as we were discussing this at one of the Gauntlet Global Opens recently. So expect a standard game, I believe is how this goes. Have I cast any cheese on Lost and Found yet? I'm not sure that I have. It's kind of too big for cheese. We have a nice little area to wall off here. Third base is fairly wide open, but we're used to that at this point. If you take the third here, it is kind of easy to wall, but we have to worry about rocks getting knocked down too. So questions. Let's see if it's a Reaper opening here from Kelazhur. It looks like it is based on how much gas that he has. Possibly a Reaper opening into the Expand, the Reaper Expand of all time. And there it is. This Reaper's name is Vermilion. Well, Protoss used dead people to fight their wars. Why can't we do that too? And after the Swarm took Tarsonis, a new project was born. This is one of the results. Donnie Vermilion's brother. He hates Zerg and is expendable. What more could you possibly need? Yes, thank you, Donnie Vermilion. One of the more entertaining characters in the Wings of Liberty campaign. It's always good to have kind of smarmy news folk as part of your game. You can make fun of them. You can use them to give expositional backstory, kind of tell the player what's going on. And I think Donnie Vermilion did a good job of that in that campaign. So here he goes across the map. This is Donnie Vermilion's brother, who doesn't actually even have a name. It's just Vermilion. So we're going to call him Zach or something. Zach seems like the name of a brother that is unwanted in a family. You going for a third here, Serral? Oh, he's hiding the drone. He's hiding the drone because the Reaper timing is now. And he knows if he tries to go for the traditional third base location, now he knows the Reaper's busy down here. So Vermilion trying to get some kills, doing a good job moving those wounded Lings back quite nicely. Ling getting a couple stabs off there. Third base being taken in the traditional location, so no problems there. And yeah, oh, don't get surrounded, Vermilion! Oh, Vermilion. Good control by Serral. Serral for a time there was number 1 on the Korean ladder. I want to say back in 2017, early 2018. He is an excellent StarCraft 2 player. Kelazhur is going to have his hands full here today. I can tell you that much. We'll see. We'll see what he can pull off. We'll see what he's capable of doing today as part of, again, this round of 16 series that he played against Serral. 4 Lings moving on up, trying to get some harassment done, but 2 Hellions are already out. And that's just going to be a little bit difficult for them to deal with. Which is why they're coming up along this right side. The Hellions moving down the middle. Oh, they juked back. What did they see? I don't know, but the Lings, they're done. They're toast. They're trying to split up, which is probably the smart thing to do, but they're all going to die. Yeah, I think they took 5 hit points off that mule. Indeed they did. 5 hit points off a mule, all of them completely toast. That is the risk of sending Lings across the map. If your opponent is opening Hellions, which the Overlord scouted, right? Yeah, the Overlord saw that. I don't know what Serral was trying to do. I guess it delayed the Hellions a little bit. Gave him some time to get some Ling speed out. Give him some time to get a couple more Queens out. By the time these Hellions show up, which is basically now, there should be a couple more Queens available to help defend against them. And yeah, 2 Queens with some Speedlings spread out fairly well. Pretty smart for the Hellions, I think, to escape on out of here. Don't want to go in and die. They're not YOLO Hellions like you see at perhaps the Platinum or Diamond level. They just kind of dive in there and kill what they kill, and if they're, well, they're going to die. I almost said if they die, so what, but they're going to die. They're suicide Hellions at that point. It is a Cloak Banshee follow-up from the Kelazhur. Fairly standard in the meta recently. Seen a lot of Cloak Banshee, no matter what matchup it happens to be. They're just good units. They force the Zerg player to throw down Spore Crawlers, to make Overseers, to spend resources on stuff they don't want to spend resources on. Now, at this point, Kelazhur is doing this in the dark. Serral has no idea. There are Cloak Banshees coming. At this point, if you're blind, there we go. There's the Spore Crawler coming up in the main. I assume we'll see one in the other 2 bases fairly shortly, too. Yes, there's one at the third base location. Hellions kind of sitting around the outside. Here comes a Viking to clear out Overlords. just in case they're trying to scout. And honestly, no, the Banshee can just come straight across the map here and just do whatever it wants. Hellions kind of poking into this third base. Queens and Lings, though, once again defending exceptionally well for the Serral. And yeah, got an Overlord kill. Got an Overlord kill. The Queen shooing that Viking away. Got buffed a little bit, did the Viking, feeling a little bit braver than normal. So there's already detection out. There's a Queen here, too. The lair is just about complete. Banshee flying on in. Is going to take shots from this Queen pretty much immediately. Maybe get a drone kill or two. But yeah, then forced to retreat here. You're not... Yes, Queen pulling back to the safety of the Spore Crawler. So it's protected. Protected by it. Trying to kill the spawning pool. And I guess as long as you're here, you might as well. Hellions coming all the way back home to deal with this Ling run by. But guess what's forming a wall? A command center. Centre du command. And yes... absolutely held off. I mean, you didn't probably need to bring all of your Hellions back for that, but that's okay. Banshee ends up with 2 drone kills, is forced to retreat, runs out of energy. Took some health off of one of the Queens and this spawning pool, but that's about it. Serral is working on Glial Reconstitution. Gonna see some Roach Buddies. Already seen some Roach Buddies, actually. We saw those pop out earlier. And now the lair is done, I'd like to see what the higher tech is going to be. You can't just go mass Roach against a Terran player unless they're meching and you can kind of catch them at the right time in the right position, which you know what? Kelazhur kind of is. These are factories, my friend. He is meching it, trying to mech it happen. Third base going to land on in here. A 3-basing meching Terran is pretty intimidating, turns out. Oh, yeah. 2 Queens with an Overseer versus 2 Banshees. Oh, run. Run. Oh. Did she escape? She escaped with 5 hit points. Cheeky little Banshee. Oh, and there it is. There's the Hydralisk Den on the way from the Serral. All right, yeah, that third base is taken with both extractors, both refineries. On that Vespene Geyser, you need all the gas you can possibly get if you happen to be a Terran player who is going mech. Pretty strong strategy, though. We've seen mech do some really great things against Zerg at the pro level on this very channel, so we'll see if Kelazhur can pull it off. The thing is, a lot of Zergs are pretty used to it by now. It's been happening for quite some time. They're able to scout it, see it coming, get prepared for it, and Roach Hydra actually does pretty well, assuming that tank count isn't too high. And it's going to be Thor's from Kelazhur, actually. So Thor Hellion, I have to assume there's an armory. Is there an armory? There's not an armory yet? That's crazy. Roach is sneaking in here to his natural base location. Going to get some kills. Meanwhile, Banshee's here at the third base trying to get some kills too. Roach is at the third base causing problems. We are seeing activity all across the map right now, and it looks like the Roaches are going to get cleaned out or at least forced to retreat. The Banshee shoves off there too, but 15 SCVs killed. These guys are still killing workers at the natural base. How? That was too much. That was too much for a handful of Roaches to do there. If he had some tanks, it would have been a different story, but instead he's going Thor. All right, it's going to be Thor. He is making a couple tanks now to follow up that initial Thor production. Serral's working on Hydralisks. He's getting Muscular Augments. Yeah, Muscular Augments there, +1 Ground Carapace. Coming up too, and it's a 3-base to 4-base Thor drop follow here at about 8 minutes, which just seems like too long. It's 79 to 57 Harvesters in favor of Serral. He just feels like he's been allowed to do pretty much whatever he wants, except for some tiny Banshee harass. And that's about it. Hellions never really did much throughout this game. So here comes a Hydra and a smattering of a Roach attack into the third base location. It's on a planetary fortress. There are a couple tanks defending, and actually, is it enough to pull? It was almost enough to pull that Thor drop back. But he's going to go ahead with the Thor drop. He's going to walk into enough. I mean, that's enough stuff here, especially with the Hydra support here against that Medevac. Medevac needs to stay alive. For drops to work, the Medevacs need to live. And with these many Hydras out on the map, yeesh, that hit hard with +1 attack. They almost have Groove Spines. That range is almost complete. I'm surprised Serral went for speed first. But I guess he was being aggressive with these Hydras. He didn't really think he'd be defending all that much against a meching player. But you know what? Thor drop is real. Oh, Thor drop, no. Thor drop. Good job, Thor drop. Get out of here. Get out of here, Thor drop. Run. Can fly just as fast while holding a Thor as she can while holding nothing. Wouldn't it be interesting if Medevacs flew slower depending on how loaded up they were? I think it'd be interesting. Like a Thor versus, 8 Marines. 8 Marines are faster, definitely. The Thor is slower, but neither of them are as fast as an empty Medevac. Because, right? For realism. Anyway, yeah, just too many tanks here at the third base. Guess what we're doing? We're drop lording while kind of trying to attack into this natural base location with a bunch of Roaches too. Serral's multi-pronged attacks are just crazy right now. Pulling all the attention over here while dropping in the main. Are you kidding right now? Gonna take down a factory. Gonna take down another factory. Gonna attack into this third base. Oh, third base, you're in trouble. Main base in trouble. 2 There's a tank defending, a couple Cyclones coming in, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to be enough. Third base, the attack isn't huge from Serral, but it's doing a lot of work right now. Dropping Hellbats on top of this Hydra Roach army. Yeah, there we go. Hellbat, a pretty good choice there, especially because the Roach count wasn't too high. However, 17, 18, 19 SCVs have died. He did save his third base location. Kelazhur managed to save it. And he saved his main base here, too. Viking gonna chase into Hydras. Viking, no! All right, Viking. Overextended a tiny bit. Serral doing a good job expanding while attacking back there. He is throwing up his 6th base. By golly, he has 6 bases. 4th base done for Kelazhur. It's turning into a planetary fortress. Serral's got a hive. He's working on Vipers, working on +2 Carapace. That was a pretty darn good +1/+1 timing attack of Roach and Hydra and Drop Lords. Coming back in again here to the main base. This Thor trying to help out. Oh, but if he finished off the medevac, he couldn't get the medevac here. The Thor getting focused down a little bit there, too. This isn't a lot. But they are going to pause construction on that factory by killing the SCV who was building it. Nice target firing there. Changelings inside the army, too. And another attack up here at the front. Gonna get a full surround on. Oh, some of those Hellbats. Tank gone. Third base is in a ton of trouble right now. SCV's just fleeing for their lives. With all of this Roach and Hydra, the main base attack is still continuing on. Oh, gonna lose an engineering bay, which I'm not sure that Kelazhur cares about. The third base does go down. Oh no, Vikings, why? Vikings flying right over these Hydras. One of them surviving by the grace of something. That attack finally gets cleaned up inside the main base thanks to the Hellbats once again, but this is just snowballing out of control for Kelazhur right now. Goodbye. Corrosive Bile taking down one of these tanks. It's 180 to 112 total supply. Just Roach, Hydra all the livelong day from Serral. Never really gave Kelazhur a chance to get up that giant mech death ball. And Zerg players, that's kind of what you gotta do. You kinda, if you're not really adept at dealing with the giant mech death ball, which I don't think many players are, at the lower levels, you really gotta hit before they have the giant mech death ball, right? You gotta hit at the 10-minute mark, at the 9-minute mark, so that, oh, wow, just yoinked in one of those tanks at this 4th base. The planetary fortress is going to die. No, the repair was too good. Oh, some Hellions overextending a tiny bit there, getting picked off there. Where are you going? Hellion, why? I don't know, but Vikings trying to pick some of these Vipers out of the sky. They've used it of ducks. Haven't seen any blinding clouds quite yet. But yeah, it's 186 to 131. Supply right now in totality. Ugh, it's not looking good. Not looking good for our Terran player here. Creep spread is wonderful out of Serral. APM check on this game. 431 for Serral. 320 for the Kelazhur. Refinery down. 3rd base out. 4th base still alive for Kelazhur. Still he's on 3 bases here, but 6 bases are out for Serral. It's 81 to 58 total harvesters. If Kelazhur is going to win this thing, it's going to take something of a miracle. Do we think he has it in him to do a miracle today? And I don't know. He's got his tanks. The tanks do have +2 upgrade, which is wonderful. Scouting barracks getting picked off by a few of these Hydralisks. Exploding. Wee. Falling into that crevice there. I mean, this isn't a huge army from Serral by any stretch. It's kind of scary, but a lot of the units are injured, and they do have +2/+2, which is actually excellent from Serral here, too. And just walking into this many tanks seems like a bad idea. Unless he has Viper support, which he might. Does he have any Viper support? He has 4 of them. Resources lost right now, 13,000 for Kelazhur, 13,000 for Serral. So pretty even that way, but Serral has had more to lose. He's had more of an economy, more of a base, more of an ability to just go ahead and lose stuff and then replace it. No big deal. Kind of a Zerg characteristic. 5 Brood Lords in the follow-up here. Oh, abducting all of those Vikings. He knows how important killing those Vikings is. He's going to use energy on killing them. Absolutely. Vikings versus Brood Lords is a wonderful answer. What is this Brood Lord morphing in way over here for? Also, where are the rest of them? Ugh. Oh, I just made a ton of spores to throw up at the front. Here are 3 of the Brood Lords. There's another one hatching right here. This Brood Lord way back here is so alone. Why are you morphing right here, Brood Lord? I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. But we're maxed out for Serral. Kelazhur sitting at 166 supply. He is double pumping Vikings. Does he know? Well, he's about to. There's the scan. All right, so he sees the Brood Lords. He sees the Roach, Hydra. He sees the Vipers. The tank count, again, is pretty nice. Oh, the Viking count is just not enough. Just not enough. The Broodlings can throw down, the Brood Lords can throw down Broodlings with impunity. Right here, just kind of attacking right on in, abducting a lot of the Vikings. I don't know about this. The tanks aren't even bothering to go in siege mode right now. Trying to drop Hellbats on the top of the medevacs, not working. at all there. The medevacs are going to go down. That's your good game. Well played. Good luck from Kelazhur. Kelazhur is your winner in 14 minutes and 55 seconds. And Serral. You said Kelazhur's your winner? Kelazhur. Serral's your winner. Kelazhur taps out. Saddest Dalek has left the game too. That is a wonderful Doctor Who reference there. Who's still around? Somebody's still around doing stuff. I don't know. I don't know who it is. We're just going to go ahead and mute the sound and wrap this thing up. So, yeah, just a clinic of an example here from Serral, how to deal with a meching Terran. You hit him in about 9-10 minutes with Roach Hydra, with upgrades, get some harassment in there. No, you probably can't attack move into the thing. Absolutely not. Don't do that. But do little harassments. Multi-prong, drop inside the main base. Maybe you try a Nidus. There's going to be a time, especially at lower level meching players, where they are just not ready. They're not prepared for a full attack. They're not there yet. They don't have their huge scary mech army, and they're kind of hoping you don't attack them until they're ready. And that's the window. That is the window. So Serral shows exactly how to do it. He didn't win there, mind you. He just slowed it down. Slowed it down, killed some tanks, killed some Thors, killed some production, made it sure that Kelazhur would not get that giant death ball ever, and then expanded behind it, went Broodlord, killed some Vikings, and called it good. That was it. Clinic. It was a clinic, as I said. Hoorah! Okay, so that's going to be it for me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void upload. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.